Hey there. One of the more interesting things in life that I've had the opportunity to learn and experience is making my own decisions and then suffering the consequences of those decisions. And those decisions have sometimes been fantastic, amazing. They've been right on point, and sometimes they've been absolutely misled or inappropriate or spur of the moment and made out of hubris. And so, whether they're big decisions or little decisions, there's been always the consequences. And it doesn't matter how much God loves us, there's always those consequences that come about from making decisions. And so we bear the consequences of our decisions, big and small. And I've tried very hard, to be quite honest, in the last 2 years to make better decisions and make better decisions for not just me, but for my family, and understanding that, my burn rate, opportunity to burn rate is much smaller now, given my advancing years and budget that I want to make sure that not only for experiencing the things of the now, but for my wife and I, we're storing up for the time when we can't work as much as we do now, and making sure that we leave our children a legacy as well. So my decision making is a bit different. Also understanding that burn rate is a factor of time, it's a factor of money, it's a factor of energy, but also knowing that there are ways that we can make decisions about things and the people that we're with and the things that we invest our time into now, which can yield such a bigger reward than the decisions we might have made earlier, and how we spend our time or our energy or our money or our resources, our skills. And so making decisions about investments of our time and money and skills is really important. I believe that one of the best ways to make decisions is to trust our intuition, and to learn to trust our intuition by identifying what's our intuition really telling us, and is that voice of intuition based on good solid experience and inspiration together, or is it just simple desire? One of the best ways that I think about it, and I try to explain it like this, is that we are created beings and we're creative beings. We have woven within us, a spiritual being within a physical body. And so we have a touch with the infinite. We have a connection with the infinite. And regardless of our faith persuasion, we have invested into our spiritual giftings. And I believe that intuition is something every single person has. One of the best decisions that I've made based on intuition was 2.5 years ago to go and visit my dad. And I thought it was a good idea, and I felt I should go and do this. And I knew that my dad was unwell, but at that time his health was reasonably stable. And my wife said, it's a good idea, go now, we will be okay. And so I went to New Zealand. I just bought a ticket, flew back to New Zealand and stayed with Dad. And I was only going to be there for a week, and I think I was there for nearly 2 weeks. Spent a great amount of time with him, managed to go and take him down and stay with family. It was in the middle of winter. Dad got a cough, but I managed to look after him, and he got a little bit unwell. It wasn't a good decision to take him traveling, but we just got to spend a really good time together. And at the end of that, after sharing stories, sharing jokes, sharing, regrets as well as desires for the future, being able to just hug it out and get on the bus and know that there was nothing left unsaid. And, in December last year, so nearly 9 months ago, we said goodbye to Dad. And so I was able to say that I had left nothing unsaid with Dad, even though I wasn't there when he passed. I had left nothing unsaid. My children, my wife, and I, we had all said how much we loved him. And that was a beautiful thing, absolutely beautiful thing. And one of the other great things, I think, when you learn to trust your intuition, is you're able to support other people. So it's not just for yourself, it's supporting other people who may be going through a difficult circumstance, and nobody really understands from the outside how it's affecting them. And I had the privilege to speak at a men's weekend away a few months ago, and part of the outcome of that has been an increase in the number of relationships that I have a deeper affinity with, deeper group of guys. And I love spending time with guys because we get to be honest and truthful and support each other. And one of the guys, he told me that there was a very difficult situation with his previous wife was unwell, and so he was supporting his older children through the situation of their mum going to pass, his ex-wife. And I just got this intuition on the weekend to send him a message, and it just so happened he had arrived back in Indonesia from visiting his family, visiting his children, visiting his ex-wife and spending time with them and got to be with them. And so he was, dealing with a number of different struggles on a number of levels, but he's a strong guy, a very compassionate man, a man who has a lot of intuition about how other people are feeling as well. And so he was able to very sensitively and encouragingly spend time with his kids. And so he was able to just tell me how it was bad, but he's getting through it. And he recognized that this was the time where he needed someone to reach out to him. And so I think that understanding intuition, being able to reach out with intuition and being able to let intuition drive our actions, and even if there is no need on the other end of that message or that phone call or that visit, the person appreciates that they thought about them, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's a really beautiful thing to trust our intuition, develop that intuition, and use it to help us drive decisions, small and big, that are going to impact us, set us up for success, and to show real empathy and support for people around us. Because I think the greatest thing we can do is to love God and love other people. So I just really want to encourage all of us to dig a bit deeper, start to develop that sense of intuition and trusting our intuition and being led in our decision making to a deeper level by our intuition, because we never know where that's coming from. Okay, have a great week.